Welcome back to another episode of See More Shenanigans.
What up, what up, what up?
We're gonna shenan again. Okay, I ain't gonna give y'all too much this time. this time. But y'all can get that a little bit. Anyways, so y'all, we are back. Jarvis, tell these people what we talking about today.
So, we talking about kids.
Kids, oh my.
Children.
Oh my Shayla.
Yeah. Kids.
What about kids?
What about kids? Do you want kids?
I guess.
You guess.
I guess, you know, kids is cool. They alright, I guess.
Cool. They alright.
Yeah. Why? Do you want kids?
I guess. Kids is cool. They alright.
Boy, lame. Just lame.
So, we bringing up the topic of kids, you know. A lot of people always ask us, because we're going on 4 years of marriage.
Yep.
So they always ask some questions. Oh, you guys are married. When are the kids coming? When y'all gonna have kids?
So nosy.
Yeah, like, so there's always that question where sometimes we ask ourselves, like, do we want kids?
Yeah.
We don't have, neither one of us have kids.
Right.
And it's like one of those things like, do we want kids? Especially in this economy that's going on now. You know, that's tough.
I don't know, my boy.
So.
Well, that's actually, before you even talk about, or think about like with the economy that we're in, before all this was an issue, did you want kids before? Like, even before you met me, has that, like, you know, like some people grow up, they be like, well, I want to have kids one day, blah, 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 all this other stuff. Was that ever the thing for you or no?
No. It never, so it was one of those things where it was like, no, I didn't want kids. But it was also one of those things where if you'd have told me before 2017 that I'd be married, I'd have been like, what you smoking on? Like, I didn't picture that in my life. So it was one of those things where it's like, it changes. You know, what I like now as being a married man, would I like to have kids? Yes. But if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be the end of the world. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that change. You know, things constantly change, or you have life altering occurrences that may change your mind and outlook on things. So,
that's true.
What about you?
What about me?
Did you always want kids?
Oh, yeah. I always wanted kids growing up. And then when I became an adult, after like a certain age, I don't remember what the age was, but like somewhere between my mid-late 20s, I was just like, I don't need kids. Like, you know, I'm okay with being a rich auntie. You know what I'm saying? And that's just because, like, I hadn't had them at that time. And it's like, I was getting older and older and older. And I'm just like, who trying to be 40 years old still changing a diaper? Like, I'm trying to be outside living my best life. And I think especially when I got to a point where I was like, oh, I could travel and do all this other stuff. It was like, what kid gonna fit in at? Yeah. So. But now it's literally one of those moments of like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's all in the Lord's hands. When we get to that point.
Right. When we get to that point. You know. So if it do come we are blessed to have a kid or kids. How many kids do you want? How many?
2 is the max. It's only 2 of us. You only need 2 kids.
You only need 2.
You only need 2. It's only 2 of us. You take one, I take one. What you need more than 2 for? Period. And I'm not even trying to really take 1. You take 2, I take 0.
Stay at home, Dad. Don't sound too bad.
Whatever floats your boat, I would gladly give you an allowance. I would gladly give you an allowance. So you can stay at home with them kids, with the kid or kids.
Yeah.
How many you want?
I'll take 1.
Fair enough.
But
Would it? Are you all take 1 regardless, or is it if I have a boy, if we have a kid and it's a boy, I'll take one. But if we have a kid and it's a girl, I want to try for another one. Because you men be, you know.
Man, if it's a boy, it's a wrap. It's a definite wrap. Even if it's a girl, it still might be a wrap. Because honestly, I don't know if I would want to start back over again.
Well, here's the other thing, y'all. I'm only getting pregnant once. So it's really, if the Lord bless us with twins, we in here. We cooking with grease.
One boy, twins, one boy, one girl. Hallelujah.
Right. That would be the ideal setup anyway. I think like a lot of people that's like closest to us knows that like that's the ideal setup. Like if I want to have kids, I really do want to have twins. Like y'all, I really do want to have twins because I am afraid of pregnancy. Mm-hmm. I'm scared as shit. I don't care what y'all tell me, all that stuff. And I've had some friends that was very much so realistic and was like, no, you should be afraid of pregnancy because like if we being realistic, there are so many unknowns with being pregnant and there are so many, you just never know. And like, and one thing I've always known is that as a woman, you know, there is a potential I could lose my life giving birth. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the percentage is, y'all do y'all own research. But, you know, like that's still a factor, you know, especially when it comes to Black women. So I hope that when we do start trying to have kids, we're blessed with twins. Whether it's twin girls, twin boys, or one boy and one girl. That's all I got for y'all. 2 is my max. Mm-hmm. And I'm only getting pregnant once.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not gonna mess up.
I also pray and hope that at that moment comes that it is a smooth pregnancy. Yeah. A smooth pregnancy and a smooth recovery.
That part, because postpartum is a thing. Mm-hmm. And you know, a lot of women go through postpartum depression. You know, they lose themselves. They mentally, physically, and emotionally. And having the right partner is extremely important. And the right support system. Mm-hmm. Who do you think, if we have kids or when we have kids, who do you think, when we think about our parents, who do you think is going to be the most active? No, I don't want to say that because I think they're all going to be active. Who do you think is going to be the most overbearing grandparent?
Oh, Lord. Or the honest answer is you could really pick a name out of a hat.
Literally, because they all will be.
Right.
Yeah, they all will be.
But I think your mom will be because it will be her first grandchild.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely was going to say that.
So my parents will be overbearing a bit, but they already have a grandchild. Yeah. They're about 7-8 years in the game. Yeah. So they already have a grandchild. Your mom,
your nephew is what, 8, 9? About 8 years old now?
Something like that.
Yeah. So yeah. Like my mom we literally just having a conversation the other day about this, and she was like, yeah, just let me know what role you know, because of course I've had the conversation with her that there's a chance we may not want to be parents. Mm-hmm. You know, and she had to come to terms with that and be okay with that. And then so she randomly, I guess, had a thought about it and was like, yeah, I was just thinking like, are you guys still want to have a child, or did you guys decide that you just don't want to have a child? And either way, it's okay. I've come to terms with it now, you know. So I was just wondering. I was like, no, we're gonna try. You know, in the next year we'll try. And she was like, okay, I just want to know how I need to prepare my finances. My mother is a shopaholic, she'll tell y'all no. And she's like, you know, I gotta know where I'm gonna be at because I gotta be able to quit my job. I said, man, why are you quitting? The lady is gonna quit so she could be over here full time.
Oh.
No. Cause her livelihood, who finna fund that?
Right. And she gonna be trying to take my job. That's not gonna give me no excuse. I can't go to one because
Jarvis want to be able to tell all y'all who his friends are. He can't come outside because he got the baby. I want y'all to know that is the plan, and I support him in that plan. But he gonna probably tell y'all could come over here. But either way, he gonna tell y'all I got the babies. I ain't going. I'm not coming outside.
Man, it be your own people.
I'm here for it. Because I'm going to make sure you and them babies are set. Y'all got all the food y'all need. Y'all got the coins y'all need. You can take them outside. Y'all good. Y'all good, because mama's going to be gone.
Okay.
I'm outside. I'm outside.
Yep.
But no, yeah, my mother would definitely be the one that's the most overbearing. Not overbearing. No, actively involved. I don't know what I said originally, but she's going to be that one, like you said, because she doesn't have any grand, because I'm her only child, of course, only child. But yeah, she said she was quitting her job. She said she's gonna. I said, ma'am, at least go part time. I need you to still have your own income. I can't afford your lifestyle and ours, because our lifestyle is expensive within itself.
Yes.
And even for her, I love the excitement and enthusiasm. It is a lot of pressure though. But I still love it, because it's because she's even stated when y'all want to go on y'all trips, just let me know. Because that was also a big thing for me, how much of life will change after having a child. Because I don't know while you may be fine, mentally, because your hormones aren't the ones that's being dysregulated and all other stuff. But me, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what was happening. And so I've mentally, and we've had conversation about this, prepared for the first year to 2 years. I'm down, really the first year. And when I say down, that just means not doing all that traveling and all the other stuff. But at least only for the first year, because kids fly free up until the age of 2. So after they turn 1, baby, we need to get on the plane and get all and use up all them freebies.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm gonna need my mental to be better.
Yes, it does.
But her saying that she is willing to move in, or she's when y'all have vacations, let me know. I'll travel with y'all. If it's a vacation y'all still want the kids to go on with, but you guys still want to be able to have your alone time, I'll travel too, so y'all have the built-in babysitter and stuff like that. She's so excited, and I love that for her. Yes. I love that for us.
Yes.
But at the same time, I also have to remind her, girl, you still gotta live your life, because my mom is young. My mom was all of 50, 51?
Just barely. Right.
I think one of the two. So it's
and she's not no homebody.
She's not. My mom travel just as bad as we do. Right. As much as we do. So it's what do you mean? But according to her, she be talking about some. I'm going to be ready. My grandkids gonna come first.
Well,
we'll see.
That's good to see. That's good to hear.
One thing I know, another thing, while my mom may be the one that's that goes over the top, your dad will be the one that's making sure they're in all the sports and make it there. And your mom will also be the one that's doing all the shopping. My mom our kids will probably have so much clothes and so much stuff because of both our mothers.
The house we have is gonna be full of their stuff.
That's why I said we gotta move.
Yeah, we gonna get probably a little closet.
That part, they gonna take over every room. Y'all think if y'all only could have a tour of our house, people think I take up a lot of space in this house, which I do, but I don't. I just fill every room. I already know we have kids, child.
They filling up every room.
Every room. Because solely because of our mothers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was your question?
So my question.
No, not that one. It was something else you was finna ask. I forgot. I don't know. I was saying something.
Oh, you probably answered it. Oh, it was going to be, so say if we do have a kid, or kids, what do you envision for them?
What you mean? In what way?
In a way of their early stages. Is it one of those things where it's we envision going to daycare?
Like that. No, I really don't want. I don't want our kids to go to daycare. At least not the first year. Maybe year and a half. And I think we have that advantage because I work from home. And I only work 2 days a week. So I think that's a very realistic option for us, especially if our parents are rotating and coming to help out and stuff like that. So no, ideally I wouldn't want them to go to daycare in the beginning. I would want that first year and a half to be at home. Now, granted, by the age of 2, they will need to. I feel like it would be beneficial to go to like daycare or early hair start or whatever the case may be for social skills.
Yes.
But that very first year or whatever, I feel like, yeah, I would prefer them to be home with me, you, family. They're gonna still learn because that's just how I am, for one. That's just how my mother is. Like, you know, our parents are just like that. They don't play those games. It ain't no like you just gonna be like, oh, not doing nothing. Like they'll still slowly be learning their ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, all that other stuff. And honestly, depending on what the world is at that point, I'm also open to like homeschooling in general and finding like the cohort for like our area where there's other kids that's homeschooled, but they still meet up a couple of times out the week for social gatherings and stuff like that. So I'm definitely open up to that because, I mean, with the man talking about dismantling the Department of Education, there are so many things that's going to change and be affected by that. You know what I'm saying? Like the funding that goes into different schools. We're fortunate enough to live in a pretty good neighborhood in the area, but there are other families that's not. And so like they lose some of those fundings or whatever the case may be, if I'm understanding how that works correctly. So like I'm open to homeschooling too, but I know the first year to year and a half ain't no daycare around here. We at home. I want a nanny. So can you do some overtime?
Absolutely.
So we could save up because I need a nanny.
Absolutely, because you need a break too.
It's for you. You need the break. I'll be gone.
We both.
I'm outside.
We both need the break.
You a stay-at-home dad.
Of course. So yeah, a nanny was definitely about. I agree with everything you said. No, we've talked about this, me and her, like our plan. So we just wanted to share it with you all, and just let you guys know what we are thinking. You know, because I agree with everything that you said. Like the first year or two, I'm gonna be here with them.
What are your thoughts on like, all right, home in regards to homeschooling? Are you open to homeschooling just up to a certain age, or are you up to homeschooling indefinitely? To college or high school or something?
I would definitely be up to it till like at a certain age. I would say maybe about early, like preteen years when you start getting around. So
like up until maybe middle school? That's preteen. Because they go to middle school like preteen, right? Like middle school is preteen age, right? Because teenage years starts at what, 13?
I would say.
So middle school is like 6th grade, right? I went to CPS, so we didn't have middle schools, elementary, kindergarten to 8th grade. So I know in the suburbs, which is where we live, middle school starts at what, 5th, 6th grade or something like that?
Around that time, yeah.
So you thinking maybe when it's time to go to middle school, they need to be in somebody's classroom?
Yeah, I think so, just to be able to
if we choose the homeschooling route?
Yeah, okay. Just to be able to give them that more so social skills on a more one-on-one level, like going to be able to interact with kids from the same area consistently in school, being able to figure out that balance of education and social skills and friendship, being able to understand about different teachers. Because a lot of times you have being able to work with different personalities, different teachers, how people like things. It'll teach them to be able to adapt to abilities and all of that. I think that. And then also with a lot of times with extracurricular activities. Some schools have that to where they can be able to join that, go to school, and then afterwards you do an extracurricular activity.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about that because I'm so because we're so enmeshed kind of in the AAU world, when it comes to the different sports, like even just with your nephew, he do like AAU football. Well, I don't know if it's called AAU football. Yeah, traveling football, AAU basketball, baseball, all that stuff. What does AAU stand for?
Amateur Athletic Union.
Oh, so I'm saying the wrong words?
No, you're right.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we see that with your nephew because he's in those sports all year round, just about. But it's not through his school.
No,
it's like privatized, kind of, because it's travel, football. What he do? Football, baseball. He stopped basketball, right?
Basketball too.
Oh, he still do basketball. Okay,
Right.
I don't think he like basketball as much as the other two.
He loves baseball and football though.
Yeah. And he needs to just go on and stick with football and get your TT and your uncle some money, please, baby. But yeah, so I'm also like aware of those things. Like there are options outside of like the school, because not all schools have those different teams, but
they don't.
But yeah, true. Like their early stages of life. Yeah, I just want a nanny for you, for us. Because I also don't want us to lose ourselves in our unit as a husband and wife having kids, because that happens a lot for some people.
It does.
Like they get so wrapped up in the world of being parents that they lose themselves as individuals and as a married couple.
And it starts to be all about the child.
Yeah. Not knowing that child is one day going to grow up and leave that house, and then what? Now you're like, who the hell is this man or this one? Because y'all don't know each other anymore. Y'all stop dating. Y'all stop asking those questions and all the other stuff. So you're going to make sure you still date me?
Yes. That's going to be my little getaway.
I don't believe him, y'all.
Which is part of the reason why we waited for our first few years before even the thought of having kids, was because we wanted to constantly just be us two, be able to get to know each other better and to be able to live our life together. Because we also hear from a lot of other people that do have kids, and they would say, hey, you guys got kids? And we'd be like, no. They'd be like, okay, wait, because kids change.
They say wait, or they literally say don't have them.
Right.
And I laugh in my man when they say don't have them, because it's like I instantly know what that means. Like, oh, somewhere down the line, y'all lost yourselves as a unit, and like y'all fighting to get back to just y'all, but also trying to maintain a household with kids in it and ripping and running. You feel like you don't have yourself, but also they don't have the support that they desire. Right. Really,
that's true. Because support system for kids is huge.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
I don't know at what point in the world the village stopped villaging, but step up. Step up. Because it really does take a village. I have friends and family members who they struggle with that.
They do.
Because they don't have the village that's needed, or their village is not close enough because because of where they live. Like they done moved out of state, or whatever the case may be, and it's like, and they haven't found like a trusted person that they can keep on payroll for nannying or babysitters and stuff like that. And so like it just becomes a lot, and like you just really lose yourself. And that's why I was trying to tell my friends, like, if y'all just call me. I think they don't call me because I think they be like, nah, you're married, you got stuff that you're doing. They always think I'm busy, but in reality, typically, if you just tell me ahead of time, I could put a date on my calendar and I can watch the little ones. Now they may come back home looking crazy because I'm gonna let them run raw at my house. We finna be in the backyard or in the living room just running raw. Don't get mad. They ain't gonna be harmed. They're gonna be fully fed, and they're just gonna be exhausted and looking crazy. She came with a little slick ponytail. Baby, the ponytail all over her head. Okay, because we have a time. But I think I've always been like that, because I used to be a babysitter when I was younger. I was a teenager, and that was always my rule. I let them kids run around my house, my mama's house, but they all knew, before you leave this house, you gotta clean up. You can do whatever you want to do. You're going to watch whatever you want to watch that's age appropriate. Make sure y'all fed, got y'all pizza, whatever y'all want to eat. But you got to clean up before you leave the house. And every child obeyed.
Absolutely.
When they picked them kids up, except that one child.
Uh-oh.
Child, she done took my birth control. Y'all, she took my birth control.
Lord.
It was sitting on the counter, and this is where you learn. Again, I was a teenager. I was literally 18. The birth control packet was sitting on my dresser. Didn't think nothing of it. Her mom called my mom and was like, So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she like, I found these little pills in so-and-so pocket. This little wench took my birth control pills.
So lesson number 1, kid-proof the house.
Kid-proof the house and keep the drugs away. Because what? I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, she can't come over here no more. Because now you acting up. You ain't never, these birth control, and it be the thing, like, this been sitting on my dresser all the time. You ain't no kid ever. And here you go want to act the fool today. Child, kid proof the house, put the drugs up. Okay. It don't matter if you think it's just a little tic-tac, put it up. Put it up. But, I forgot what I was going to add, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It does take a village, though.
It does.
It does take a village, though. I think we have a pretty solid village. Simply because I know that we was talking about moving to Texas at one point, and I think I randomly had a moment of like, I don't think I want to move to Texas just yet. Not until our kids are like school age. Well, shit. Now with what's going on in the world, I ain't gonna catch me in no damn Texas. But at that time, I think it was like, I don't know, because we have family in Texas, but by the time we had, like, their kids are almost grown.
So,
you know, so it's like, what? You know, versus here, it's like, we got my sister, your parents, my mom, even my bonus mom, because, you know, she gonna be all my aunties, you know, they're gonna be in the mix of like probably not watching them, but like at least a sounding board and support, you know. So I don't know, kids. Don't get fat when I get fat.
Oh, we gonna still be in shape, baby.
You better be, because I don't want to eat. I need to still see abs. But so me and Jarvis have this agreement, or at least I made the agreement. I don't know if he gonna abide by it. But I told him he needs to be walking around here with a 6-pack, or at least a 2-pack or something, very, very solid while I'm pregnant, because I don't want to be looking at a belly while I'm looking at my belly.
So work in progress, y'all. Work in progress.
He got a year to get it together. Get it together. Cause or else I ain't going.
Oh man. We gonna get it, baby. We gonna get it.
Sure. Whatever. Why do you have this creep smile on your face?
Cause I'm so in love with you.
Oh Lord. There you go.
So I think we could ask that question now.
Oh,
you ready?
Yeah. What's your question?
So,
I forgot you had it. Sorry.
Let's see. I actually got a few.
Oh Lord! If you slide that card one more time.
So, what's the most important value you teach your children?
Oh. Well, I guess it would be you would teach your children, because we don't have children yet. So, well, this is hard. What's the most important value you would teach her? I don't know. What about you?
For me, the most important value I would teach them is knowing yourself. You have to be able to have that confidence in knowing yourself, what you are good at, what you aren't good at, being self-aware, understanding. And with that, when you know yourself, that comes in with, like I said, confidence. It also comes in humility.
Yeah.
Being able to understand that, hey, I'm good at what I do, but I know there may be someone out there that may be just as good as I am. So I have to continue to work hard at what I have, not be afraid to being able to always try new things, learn new things, which that's how you develop your self-awareness about yourself. So I always say that is my value that I would teach them.
I would say peace of mind.
That's good.
Peace, like, value your peace of mind, your mental health, really. Because one thing we know is the world gonna continue to go around, life gonna continue to be lifing. And you have to know when to be able to shut it off and just be like, that's not my fight. I'm cool. I'm okay with being by myself in this moment and sitting with myself. I'm okay with just like I'm calm. You know, yeah. Of course, there will be a lot of different values that we're going to teach them. But when it comes to the most important, because I feel like if you can regulate your emotions and come back to a place of peace, you can tackle a lot of stuff.
I agree with that. And that's one of those things that sometimes you can start with kids at an early age, just being able to process their feelings and have that emotional maturity about themselves, so that way you have conversations with them. Well, hey, how did you like this? Well, how did that make you feel?
Yeah.
And things of that nature. It's very ironic that you mentioned that, because I've seen that in like my parents, between them and their interaction with my nephew versus when me and my sister were.
They're never the same.
Yes. Yes. It's never the same. Like, and when we were his age, it was one of those things. Our parents were do as I say, not as I do. So when I tell you to do something, you do it and do all that. So now, just to see them interact with how they interact, like my nephew is very smart for his age. He's able to articulate his thoughts and feelings. And a lot of that sometimes comes from my parents being able to, well, why is this? Asking him, well, why is this? And he says, well, I didn't like this because that did this and this did that. And he's able to break it down as for a person of his age, because he's about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And he's very mature for his age and able to articulate his feelings. And I like that. And I was like, dang, shoot, when I was that age, I couldn't definitely do back.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, to see them grow a bit and be able to experience that is very good. And it's like one of those things that's like, that's what I want for our kids, is be able to have that. Yeah. Especially with you as their mother.
Yeah. But I also think that wasn't your mindset. That wasn't always your mindset in the beginning.
No.
Because I remember having those conversations early on, and I was like, nah, you gotta let kids express themselves. And I remember you thinking like, it was almost like a form of like talking back. Like that's how it could be perceived. And I'm like, no, that's not what that is. I also don't think your parents hasn't always been the way they are, even with your nephew. Like, it wasn't like from day one, they was always like, oh, you know, how does that make you feel? Like, what's your emotion? I think over time, work with him and learning and understanding who he is, they've realized, like, no, you can't just tell him, just do this, because that's not the type of person he is. Right. And, but, you know, it's growth at the end of the day. But, like, yeah, it was like, I remember when he was like, nah. And because I used to say all the time, I'm going to let my kids express themselves. Ain't no talking back and woo woo. And it's not considered talking back. Like, it's literally you allow a child to express themselves, because at the end of the day, kids have questions. I always tell people to think about, and I think I told you, think about how you felt when you were young and you had a thought or opinion about something your parents didn't allow you to express it. How did that make you feel at the end of the day? And then we wonder why kids grow up and they're in the streets, or they're seeking answers from other people that's willing to hear them out and give them answers. Because
they feel hurt.
Exactly. And now you wonder why, like, they got mommy or daddy issues for this particular reason or that particular reason, or, you know, trauma and, you know, all the other stuff like that. Those are real things, you know what I'm saying? And so I think also me working with kids in the foster care system for a while, it was like that was a eye-awakening experience just in general, because it's like, dang, if only somebody would listen to this kid, maybe they wouldn't have gotten, you know, treated the way they gotten treated for so many years. Mm-hmm. Maybe it could have been stopped early on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm a firm believer that kids should be able to express themselves. I don't care who you are as an adult. If you feel a way about a kid expressing themselves, you're the problem. You are really the problem, because it's okay for you to express yourself, but they can't express themselves.
Right.
Like, type of F shit is that?
And when that kid expresses himself, that's probably gonna be reflect on you because you just need to be able to sometimes take that accountability and learn from it.
Yeah. You was gonna say something? Oh, yeah. But no, I just feel like, but yeah, I remember early on, you was like, "Ain't no kid finna be talking about to me," and I'm like, "It's not talking bad. That's how you perceiving it. You're the problem, sir. You're the problem."
Yeah.
I'd rather a kid be able to ask me, and I give an answer, versus they feel like they can't come and talk to us. And they go seek them answers out in the street.
Somewhere else, yep. Because when it comes to the part when they really need someone, it'll make you feel good when you're the first person that they come to.
Yeah.
In a time of need.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, how do you feel about your kids? So of course, we know that kids be out here doing stuff, whether it's drugs, sex, alcohol, like they be experimenting and trying. How do you feel about your kid of a certain age? At some point they have sex in your house.
Oh Lord, we done just skip past the baby phase, let them walk around here with the Pampers and diapers, and then one would say, "Daddy,
that's the easy part."
Oh man, that part, man. Obviously, I would be like, give them. I would say like, hey. You shouldn't be doing this. That's the quote unquote, the political talk. Like you should be doing this. Don't do that. But also you need to be aware of what could happen if you do these things.
Yeah.
So, or if it's sex, practice, STDs, incurable diseases, pregnancy, all those things.
Get to the point.
So it's one of those things you give them. You're going to make sure that you give them all the information. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you, like, hey, don't be doing none of that. That's my answer. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to give you all this information so that you understand what the consequences are behind those actions or what will happen due to doing those things. Like, it's one of those things that you are able to make that decision and you are able to do that on your own. And I would like to be able to trust you that you will make a sound decision on your own. So,
again, how you gonna feel? Cause if they decide they want us, they got all your information that you done gave, all the education you done gave them. And then they decide they want to have sex, and then they gonna have sex in this house. This is what I'm gonna say. While you contemplating your answer, I'm gonna let him give all the explanations and the education and everything, all that stuff. We can cover that. But at the end of that conversation, I would say, if you decide that you're gonna still go forth with it, I would rather you do it here in this house than outside somewhere. You can agree. I mean, you can disagree if that ain't where you stand, but I'm just saying. That's what I would tell my kids. Like, I don't think you should do that because this is a very adult decision.
It is.
And once it's done, it's done. You can't undo it. Ain't no going back. But if you still decide that that's what you gonna do, I'd rather you do it in this house. I'd rather you be somewhere safe.
That's a good point. That is a fair point. I think I will agree with that. I never thought about it that deep into it.
I be thinking about all types of shit.
I mean, I agree with that.
Because think about it.
I would also be like, the parent in me be like, I wouldn't want to know that.
You don't want to know. And so here's the thing. And me and my sister has had this conversation before too. Like, yeah, we were telling like, yeah, I rather you do it safe. But then don't think you finna be bold. Like, yeah, my girl or my guy finna come up. We finna go
right.
fuck. Hey, absolutely not. That's not what's finna happen. Like, you still, I mean, essentially they still sneak around or something in the house. But like, don't just think you finna be like, yeah, I live here. Yeah, this my, you know what I'm saying? No, that's not what's finna happen. This ain't that type of party. But if you're gonna decide to do it, I'd rather you sneak and do it in the house. Because here's the thing, if they really want to do it, they're gonna sneak and do it elsewhere. Think about the first time you had sex. Mm-hmm. What was you at? Were you at home or were you out and about somewhere?
Out and about somewhere.
Like at somebody else's house or at a party?
Somebody else's house.
Right. And you know how wrong that can go?
Oh yeah. Now that you think, yeah.
And you was dating white women at that time. I will never let this man live this down. It is a running joke in our marriage. And so, as a black man, was your first time with a white woman?
Yes.
As a black man freaking on a white woman, a white girl, you know how wrong that could have went?
Now, yes.
Yeah, as an adult, yeah. At that time, you were not thinking about that. But as an adult and living in the age that we're living in, like what's happening, even any age period, how that could have went so wrong if her parents or dad or anybody would have came in and called y'all. And it would have been like, and I'm not saying that, if you do it here, you're absolved from any scandals or lies or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. But the chance is more likely decreased because you are a safe space. This is your safe space. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I get you.
And so it's like, okay, you don't have to worry about nobody coming in. Well, nobody that you don't know coming in or anything like that, or just even thinking about like the fact of having a daughter. You know what I'm saying? My daughter definitely needs to be at home if that's gonna happen, because we don't know if there's other men trying to come. Like if he's at her, it's like you just don't know. So many different factors can,
right on that.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'd rather be in a safe space at the end of the day when it all happens. Because kids are gonna do what they're gonna do. See, I wasn't no fast tail little girl. I wasn't doing that. I didn't lose my virginity until after I graduated from high school. I was about to get ready to go to college. With my high school sweetheart.
Oh.
That's my homie though. But but like that, you think about all those years or whatever that we had built, and his home was a safe space for me. Like our families intertwined, you know what I'm saying? So like that was a bit different. I wasn't finna be having sex at my mama's house, but it was a little different. But I also didn't have those type of conversations with my mama either. We grew up in a era where they wasn't really talking to us about sex like that for real. They just told you don't do it.
Don't do it. It's bad for you.
Exactly. That ain't gonna stop shit. You know what I'm saying? For some people, like that, you
especially
just
nowadays, it's so prevalent, right?
Yeah. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like I plan on being very open, especially because as a therapist and as a person who's like training to be a certified sex therapist. Like we're learning so much from like developmental stages and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, what I was about to say, yeah. So it's like. I have a different view on things. My eyes have been opened, you know what I'm saying, to a lot more things of like, oh snap, maybe we should be taking this approach versus that approach. And so that's why I asked, like, would you be okay with, telling them like, if you decide, please just do it at home and be safe.
Absolutely.
Don't do it at no party. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because some people, that's where they be fucking at parties. Don't do that. Don't do it in certain environments. You know what I'm saying? Doing it in a car. Now you didn't got a case for, a sex offender because it's a public place. If you get caught, it's so many things, nuances that go into it all. So I don't mind telling my kids like, yeah, let's talk about it. I don't think you should do it, and here's why I don't think you should do it. Here's why I think you should wait. But God forbid if you decide you're gonna do it and you're gonna sneak around and do it behind my back anyway. At least sneak around at home and do it. That's just my take.
I agree with that. I love the way you broke it down. That's the professional in you.
That's how I always get what I want. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But no, serious, because a lot of people don't think of it that way. You know what I'm saying? They don't think of it that way.
It definitely is. And like, it's one of those things, like, just listening to you talk that, like, I've seen things like that happen at my job.
Yeah.
I work in public transportation areas, and I've seen people on there engaging in sexual acts and all that. And it's one of those things where it's like, nah, I don't want you doing it. Like, I'd rather you be safe and, like you said, have it in a safe space, not out here in the open doing it.
Yeah.
Doing God knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so yeah.
What about drugs and alcohol?
See, I wouldn't say necessarily, I don't know, drugs. Drugs are scary for me. Alcohol is too. But it's one of those things where it's like I grew up or seeing kids my age when we were younger.
The white people.
Yeah, drinking beer with their parents.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where it's like, okay, like if you're gonna do it, if it's gonna be a safe space for you, I'd rather you do it in this area of your house. Yeah. Like I wouldn't tell them like, don't go. I would tell them like, don't go to no party and do it because you don't know what's in there. Don't get in no car with all that stuff. You
call me, right? We'll pick you up. I don't care what time it is. Yeah, all that. Cause that's how like my mom was. She was like, okay, if you're going to, I didn't go to parties a lot, but it was always one of those things like you can call me if you need to, and I'll come get you. I never did, and I didn't need to. I mean, I was a city kid, so like we would walk half of the places 2-3 in the morning. We walking from State Street all the way to Boulevard, all the way over east. You know, them to Lakeshore Drive or whatever. But that was just like our life. It was fun. It wasn't nothing wrong with that. You can't do that these days or whatever the case may be.
Not at all.
And I'm not even saying like, yeah, y'all can do drugs. It's like, I think the thing mostly is really like, oh, let's talk about it. If you're gonna do it, you know, I'd rather you do it in the house. Or if you that inclined, because you're going to say no regardless. Like, no, you shouldn't be doing drugs. No, you know, it's not healthy. And we're going to, of course, explain why and all other good stuff. But the thing at the end of the day will still be a matter of if you just feel so inclined to, like, really try, I'd rather you do it at home, safe, where you know there's nobody, there ain't nobody finna roof you, ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just really a matter of like understanding and knowing that this in fact is a possibility.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality of it all. Everything is a possibility until it ain't. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so to sit and act like, oh, my kids would never.
Oh no. Don't be dumb.
Right. Don't be dumb. But yeah, so I think that's just my thing. I'd rather, you know, having kids just in general, you don't know, like you can try to prepare as much as you want and can, but you don't know what's going to happen until they're here, right?
Absolutely.
So I think for us, it's just great just having the conversation just in general of like, okay, let's just talk about it. Let's see, where do we stand on this? Like, do we agree? What is our mindset? What's our thought process? And then just going from there and preparing to tackle it together.
Right. Together.
As a unit.
And just keeping that open communication and trust involved to where they are able to come to us.
Yeah.
And be able to tell us if anything happened and being able to tackle that, like you said, together.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know. But y'all, like we said, we don't have kids. So, chime in the comments. Tell us some like do's or don'ts, some things to prepare for, look out for. Because I know like it's a bunch of stuff we ain't even tap into, of course.
Right.
Like, what are some of your stories? And I'll be in the comments. So, I would definitely read them and respond. Try my best to respond in a timely manner. But we appreciate y'all for joining in. Y'all know what to do at all times. Like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, all the other good jazz. And we hope y'all enjoy our little topic because at some point we have to start family planning.
Yes, we
do. Which is already kind of been in the works a little bit, very, very slowly but surely. But yeah, I'm only getting pregnant once though. That's all I gotta say.
One time. 2
times, no, 1 time. Anyways, y'all know what it is. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of See More Shenanigans. See More Shenanigans. We gon' shenanigan. We gon' shenanigan. Peace.